So here's what I'll say. Invest in what you know. Invest in what you know. Let me offer you another book to read, a great book. It's called Killing Sacred Cows. It's about investing. You read it? What's his name?
Garrett Gunderson.
Garrett Gunderson. I met Garrett Gunderson, I don't know, about a year ago, a year and a half ago. It's a fast read. He's an investment guy. He's been on CNBC. Pretty famous guy. You know what he talks about? Invest in what you know. I knew nothing about the stock market, so I trusted stockbrokers. Were they interested in growing my bank account? Or were they interested in the commissions they got from selling me those stocks?
B.
What do you think?
Close.
Option B. You know what I know? I know chiropractic. I've started 9 chiropractic offices in my career. That's what I know. I don't know real estate the way Suki knows it. I spent $4,500 about 2.5 years ago for a course given by a chiropractor who's retired from practice because he made so much money in the stock market. And I wanted to learn about the stock market. So I flew down to Tampa, Florida. I spent a weekend with him. I studied and studied and studied the information for about 6 months. Get the last name. Warner. His last name is Warner. I forget his first name. He had a great system. And I believe it worked. And I started using it some. I spent a fair amount of time. It's 2 to 3 years ago. You know what I realized after 6 months? I just don't like it. I don't want to do it. You know what I like? I like working with people. No, that's not true. I love working with people. So instead of learning about the stock market and getting good at it, and I know I could make money in the stock market, but I don't like sitting there with the Financial Times and going over all the charts, and it's just not my thing. How do you get out of debt? Question.
Okay, so going back to the 10% thing.
Yeah?
Like before you can make it a lifestyle and a habit, I understand putting it away, but how do you prevent from getting it out?
Okay.
You see what I mean?
You want to lock it away somewhere where
Yeah.
you can't touch it?
Yeah, for real. Especially as a student, because you don't have an income.
You give it to your husband. No.
That's not.
That's
That's where it is.
all right. So here's the thing.
Sweden.
In order for me to get out of debt in 7 years,
Sweden.
one word that described what I needed to be and do. I needed to have discipline. You take that money, you put it away in a bank account, let's say. Another word that describes it. Integrity. You make a promise to yourself. I'm not going to touch that money. I don't care how much I want that new car. I don't care how much I want that dream home. I don't care how much I want that new office. I guarantee all of you that when you're in practice, earning an income, you could live just as well on 90% of that income as you can on 100% of that income. I absolutely guarantee you that. Read that book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Put 10% away. I was putting away 20, 25, 30%. You know why? Because my overhead was so low. Is our overhead low?
Yeah.
Extremely low. Our overhead in Pennsylvania is almost next to nothing. You can have a great practice, a beautiful office, serving lots of people with very low overhead. Guess what? I know people that have $1 million chiropractic practices. And their overhead, their expenses, are about $850,000, $900,000 a year. Guess what they take home? $100,000. And then they have to pay taxes on that. Do you know the stress of $1 million practice when you've got 5 CAs, and 4,000 square feet of office, and you've got physical therapists and all the other stuff, the stress is intense. You have to keep producing. Keep it simple.